Today we're going to be talking about numerology. I know this is something that a lot of you have had an interest in and you've asked for, so here you go. Stick around and let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to the Wholeness Shift. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're already part of the family and you're coming back, welcome back. You know I love you. So I talk about easy, practical spirituality. I help you navigate your spiritual awakening. There's no topic off limits here. We talk about everything. We talk about crystals and spirit guides and aliens and dreams and all the things. So if this interests you, please hit the subscribe button below because I wouldn't want you to miss out on anything good. Numerology. This is a big topic that you all wanted to hear about. You've been asking me for years and I have been procrastinating, as I am prone to do. So sorry, but it's here. So you're welcome. And who better to talk about it than Kayla Eichmeyer? She's awesome. She actually did a reading for me recently. And what was amazing was that it was so spot on. But we will talk about that more in a minute. And let me have Kayla introduce herself. Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into numerology, where we can find you if we want to find you.
All right. Well, I am from Oshkosh. You can probably tell by my accent. Upper Wisconsin. I am a stay-at-home mom of four. And numerology, I really got into this because I have a very analytical brain and I was going through an awakening, and this was really my mainstay to tell me who I was and what I was here to do and understand myself. So I can honestly say, divine timing or however you want to call it, I really don't know how it fell into my lap. It just fell in my lap and I knew that,
Us. Yeah.
yeah, I had to learn it and I did. And I love everything about it. There's so much amazing information. Yeah.
There really is. I'm telling you, like the whole universe is built on math and numbers, and like everything about us is numerical, like, and the meanings behind the numbers, like it's always so accurate.
Hmm.
So how can we find you if anybody would like to have a reading with you or anything when we're done here?
Well, I have a website. It's kaylaeichmeyer.com. And then I am also on Facebook. I have a private group and I keep it private because it's a place of healing. So it's Kayla's Numerology Group in Facebook.
Love that. I think I might have to check that out too. That's pretty cool. So let's just start at the beginning. Why don't you explain for those that don't know, maybe they're new to a spiritual path, they're new to this topic. Why don't you explain what numerology is, first of all?
Okay, so the way I like to explain it is kind of like dropping into the matrix.
Right?
um, really, like you said, numbers are the basis of everything. And when we use numerology in the way that I use it, because there's a myriad of different ways that you can use it, this is a very accurate, predictable cycle of numbers. And this is actually numerology is actually 200,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we use this to predict. We look into the future. Let's see your life path number, how our cycles are going. You can pinpoint all the way down to the day how your day is going to be. So this is really what numerology is. Every single number has a meaning behind it. It has a vibration behind it. So they all mean something and they can really guide you through anything in life because everything is built on mathematics.
It
So
really is. Yeah. I mean, sacred geometry, it all comes back to mathematics. All
yes.
of it. Yeah. So fascinating. And to make it more personal to you, you can find your life path number, you can see the different numbers. Like, for example, like remember I told you 7 was my favorite number, and I'm always wearing like a 777 necklace. And to me, energetically, like as a clairsentient, the number 7 has always just felt so beautiful and pure and perfect to me. And what's funny is when we started this reading and you were going over my thing, you're like, you are surrounded by sevens. And I'm like, that does not surprise me. Like that means something to me. So numbers can be very personal and very specific to who you are. So let's
Right.
talk about life path numbers. What is that and how do you come up with it? And then let's talk about what the different ones mean, if you will.
Sure. So, I'm moving my stuff. Your life path number is how you came to the world to experience life. So we have like a soul contract, which is a little bit different. But your life path number is how you are here moving through the world. It is the very, very core of your being. So this is like the most basic part of who you are. And we have numbers 1 through 9, and we do have a few other numbers, 10. I usually go up to like 22 or 33. That's as far as I go. And those are more spiritual numbers, but generally people fall under 1 through 9. So when we go through this, we figure out who you are, and then we add in layers based off of your birth date. So to figure out your life path number, it's very simple. You just add the numbers of your birth date. So for instance, mine would be 11/7/1987. So it's 1 + 1 + 7 because we don't add the
Yeah.
zeros, +1 +9 +8 +7. And this adds up to, you'll have a total, and then you add those last two numbers together to get a single digit. So mine would be a 7. I am a 7.
Is that not? Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not a 7.
Yeah.
One question I did have was like, I had always thought I was a 1 because I'm a 10 and I would like condense down to a single digit, but you're like, no, you're a 10. Like, is there a difference between a 10 and a 1?
Yeah. So with the way that I use numerology and the way that I was taught, because I use quantum numerology, quantum Egyptian numerology, the 1 is, your visionary, but when we get into the 10, this is the very spiritual aspect of it.
Mhm.
So we don't usually, in the way I use it, we don't usually count the 1. The 10 is always what we go to, and that is a
Got it.
very spiritual number. You are um what I like to call really old souls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
very
what?
connected.
What's funny, to go off topic for for a few minutes. Back when I first started this journey and I was getting ready to move home to Ohio from Arizona, and I had a house cleaner there, like doing a move out clean of my home. And we got to talking, and she said, I'm actually an astrologer. This
Oh,
is just my side gig until I get my business up and going. And she's like, would you let me read your chart? And I'm like, yeah. So she did. And the way like the my birth chart, how they look kind of like a pie,
yeah,
the different houses, and like all of my icons were like icons, like all of my planets or whatever were up here in the top,
right.
like the upper right quadrant. I only had like one other one somewhere, but they were all up here. And she goes, you are an old soul. You are. I bet your numbers add up to say that too. And I never quite knew what she meant, but I remember her saying that. And she goes, I guarantee people whose charts look like this that are an old soul, their kids are going to be just the opposite. You were put in place to take care of some younger, more growing souls, if you will.
Yes.
Someone's at my door. Amazon. uh, but so she did my kids' charts, and sure enough, all their stuff was down here. And she goes, spirit always gives an older soul that's more in service to humanity to kind of ground the energy of these like little wild ones. And I'm like, yes. Yes. So it's
Oh,
funny you say
so
that.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
I was just going through that with my daughter because I was looking into like her birth card,
Mhm.
and it had said the very last sentence of her birth card is that later on in life they're going to want to find a spiritual teacher to to help guide. And I was like, wow, Lily, I think so. Yeah, we are all tied together. Everybody is, and
There's a
all the
plan
numbers
to all
plus.
of it.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing was left to chance. And Spirit had actually taught me several years ago. What did they call it? They called it soul harmonics, I think. And they said, like, every single thing about you is planned deliberately when you come in here in this physical incarnation, because everything about you plays a melody in heaven, and you want to play a specific melody because it accomplishes a certain thing in the universe and with the divine. And so everything from your hair color, your birthday, your birth time, your skin color, your weight, the size and shape of your eyebrows and your nose, all the things have a certain tone to them, or a certain a note that they play. And then when you put them all together, combined with your personality and your zodiac and your life path, them all these things, it plays that specific soul harmonic melody in heaven that's identified with you, and which I thought was so special. It's just
Yeah.
a reminder to like be who you are,
Yes.
embrace who you are, because you're
You
supposed to be that
know,
way.
we both of us were always like, oh,
Yeah.
get all excited. Um, Speaking of that, this month in particular, we are in the, I know this because my coach had told me this, and I'm a king of clubs. So we are actually in this month about it's all about selling yourself or being sold on yourself. So being who you are is like
Yes.
really big game changer this month.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you and I in my session talked about how I was shown a tapestry. Was that you I was talking to about that? How
Yeah.
everybody and everything is a thread. And if you try to change yourself or skew yourself in any way, like I should be thinner, my hair should be this color, I want to be more like that girl and she dresses like that. Like you try to bend your personality or who you are in some way, it actually puts like a little knot or a kink in your thread, and it throws off the weave of all the people around you and their threads, because their experience with you is skewed from how it was meant to be in that tapestry. So
Right.
I just think that's, it's so important to just be yourself. So
Yeah. Yeah. And this is really what it's all about, is showing you who you are, the way that I use it. I use it for business too, but yeah.
right. So life path numbers, we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but let's get back to it. So let's start at the beginning. One, and if you do, you want to just give a little overview of what each of them are, or how do you want to handle this?
Yeah, I'll give a little bit of overview. I'm wondering if I should make the little box, but I'll keep it simple because otherwise I will go off on a tangent and down the road.
And that's okay. You go off on as many tangents as you want to give us the information you think that we need. I just, ADHD, I tend to like squirrel and I go off on tangents. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like we were talking about, we have the numbers with the way I use it, 2 through 9. These are basic ones, and then 10, 11. We do have 11 in there, and 22 and 33.
What about one? Did you miss one?
Nope, I don't count one.
Oh, you don't count one. Okay.
For the way that I was taught. When we talk about numerology, there are so many different ways to do this, and so many different cultures use it differently, and some
Yeah.
people do
What's
have
this?
meanings.
The
So
same with a lot of things, like astrology or different things. Like there's different ways to do them. There's different ways of teaching, and so it just depends on what type you follow. So
right. Yep. Really, that's what it is.
okay, so 2 through 9.
You're 9. Okay. I am gonna write this down because
That's fine.
I'm a visual person, and I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm a visual person. And
I
I
am
like,
a visual person for sure.
and you don't mind my chicken scratches because I have the handwriting of a doctor.
Well, I'm a nurse, so I'm used to it. It's okay.
Okay. So this is basically all of our numbers right here. And this top line is our mental numbers. They are on our mental plane. The second one here, this is all of like our emotional numbers. And then the bottom, these are the people that are experiencing or having an experience in the physical, in the densest form of, our vibrations. So the mental is the highest, and then the emotional, and then the densest is your physical. So we have 3, 6, and 9 right here. These are our mental numbers. And so I'll go over those a little bit first. Our 3s and our 6s and our 9s, the world cannot function without them. They have a very special purpose. They are our people that turn over the ideas and they shoot them down to everybody else. So yes, the 3s, they are our creatives. They see the world through childlike eyes. They are the number of abundance, and they like to share that abundance. And they're the type of people that they can do one thing and then move on to the next, and they just keep sharing. Like there's an endless amount of love for them. Um, Now, when we move into the sixes, they are kind of like our harmonizers, and they are the numbers of unconditional love. So they understand things more through the mind. So, they're thinkers, like I said, but they also value unconditional love because the six is the number of harmony
Mm,
and the frequency of home too. That's kind of, how I was taught is the frequency of home. So, and if you look here, they're right in the middle of that mental plane. So they're kind of like the harmonizers of the bringing everything together.
yeah.
And then they're, well, I should say they're the caretakers. That's really what they call them, caretakers.
Yeah.
So when we move into the nines are what they would call the humanitarians. They like to lift people up on a larger scale. And these people are the type of people that I'm losing my voice. Um, People are drawn to them like moths to a flame. They anybody that has like any sort of issues or they want to like dump their life story on the nines basically. So, but the nines serve such a big purpose here, and they, like I said, they serve humanity. They are the lifters of the world. So I love that. Um, Now when we get into the two, the five and the eight, which is in the center here, this is our emotional plane.
I have two kids that are eights.
Ooh,
As you were talking, I was on my calculator and I was like, I should have figured this out. I want to know what we're talking about. So my
well, there's just
kids,
stop.
I have a 4, 2 8s, and an 11.
All right. Yep, my brain is already ticking. I can already see what's going on over there. So our twos, these are our visionaries. They like to really have connection. They are really great mediators. They are all about the feel goods. That is what our twos are. Um, they serve their own special thing with bringing people together. That's really what they're about.
Yeah.
And now our fives are our change makers. They are right in the smack in the middle of the whole box. So they are influenced by every single other number. So they are really the number of play and freedom. And they are here to learn, do I enjoy my experience that I'm having, or can I change? If I built the prison, I can burn it down. That
Yeah.
is what they're here to experience, and they are really great people. Is that how you say that? They're really personable. And so that's just a little bit about the five. Now our eights, we are in an 8 year right now. So our eights are really going to feel this energy that's going on around them. They are such patient people. They,
Two of them, like one.
yeah, there is another aspect to them. They're really, really patient people, but if they are pushed far enough, they will explode. They're really about emotional mastery. They will explode and leave everybody thinking, what in the hell just happened?
Right.
Sorry, I'm swearing, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, but they are really, really amazing people. They are like, they're really stable people. They are the people that everybody else calls to lean on. They're also like our CEOs.
Yeah.
Once they get into their groove with what they find, they don't really mess around. They find what they love and they go for it and they do it. So they have a really big purpose here as well. They are kind of like the emotional number of stability, I guess you would say, because they're an amplified 4.
Now let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Can some people have to grow into their number? Because I'm like, I'd love to see that happen as they grow, maybe, but like they haven't gotten there yet.
Well, we all do.
See who they are as their core, but like as they mature, it might come out more. Is that
Yes.
possible? Okay.
Yep. So when we went through your chart, your seasons of life,
Yeah. Okay. Right.
that is basically adult puberty, I guess is how the
Got
way.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really
My daughter Amelia, who's right now she's 23 and just had her first baby. She is an 8, and then my son Darren is an 8, And I wouldn't classify either of them as those things yet, but we'll see.
Most of them do. Like there is an undercurrent of things that show up for them right now, especially with their influences that they have, their other influences in their chart. Things are going to show up stronger in some areas than others. And then as we move through life and we kind of master these things, we really fall into who we are. So, you know, with the emotional mastery of the eight, there's a lot of things that need to be learned. And with those other influences, it's going to show up.
I'm excited for them to tap into that and see them grow then.
Yeah, you will. Definitely, you will.
Good.
All right. So as we move into the densest part of our experience here, being experiencing things through the physical. We do have the one on here, but I'm going to move that down to the 10. That's in like the spiritual part that is not part of the tic-tac-toe. So we have our fours, and our fours are, oh my gosh, they are also our CEOs. They are our inventors. They are anybody like our architects, anybody that tinkers with their hands generally is a four or an eight. They really love to build things. So when we're talking about like a project, for instance, they're the type of people that you want on your side to start this project and see it all the way to the end. That is who they are. Um, they're
Yeah.
also into psychology too.
Hmm.
With it. A lot of them really love that. So they are builders. They build everything out in the physical.
Nice.
And then our seven. We are here to learn to trust ourselves. So the sevens, you are here to learn how to trust yourself out in the physical, like releasing the need to understand everything and understand why you're making some of your actions. Like your brain is moving all the time, and we need to learn how to calm that down. And it's an intuitive number. And we all of these numbers have very intuitive abilities about them. So the seven is more of a change maker. They're here to make waves. They are here to learn what moving forward and failing is all about. So, and they do that through intuition. The fours are channels, the eights are channels. The sixes have very psychic abilities, and so do the nines. They're so all pretty much everybody has something
Yeah.
that's really worth um looking into, and a lot of times you utilize this and you don't even know you're doing it. So
Yeah.
it's see that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want me to go into more of the tens or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the tens, they are you also like they're a spiritual number, and they are great visionaries as well. Um they are the people that have emotions of the polar opposites, and you experience that often and very strongly. So but they're also like the easiest going people. They have this innate ability about them to make anybody feel comfortable with them. Like they're the friend that you just feel at home with immediately, you know. Um, and they are a physical number too. This is how they move through the world, and how they find peace within is connecting with nature and connecting with anything the physical, doing sports, you know, all of those things. So it's a spiritual number in the physical.
That's
Yes.
very much me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the 11s are an amplified of the two. So they are our visionaries too. And this is really amplified, and their connection is amplified too. And the
My
11s,
daughter Madeline.
yes, yeah. So
Yeah. My daughter Maddie is an 11.
she's going to be feeling the two until she hits late 20s, most likely early 30s.
She is God, I have so many kids I lose track now. I'm like, is she 27 yet? Yeah, she's like later 20s.
Okay. So actually she's already feeling this. She's already shifted into the 11, because now that I'm thinking about it, the 11s start their seasons of life very early, very young. So probably 2 years ago. She probably started that, cuz I think they're like 25 or 26 when that starts. So for the 11s, like I said, they experience the energy of the 2 for a long time, and then once we start shifting, they really start shifting into the spiritual aspect of who they are. So they are also our mediators. They are often the rocks of their family. They are visionaries. They're so incredible at bringing ideas and things into the world as well. But they are also very emotional people. They came to experience emotions as well
She
with others.
did. Yes, she did. Oh my gosh. Moving on.
What?
Moving on. No, I mean, moving past my daughter. Like, I don't want her to watch this and be like, oh, what do you say about me? But like, yes, she did. She's master at experiencing those emotions. I love you, girl. I love you, girl.
Oh, and let's see. Okay, so our 22s that we have, those are amplified versions of the two. They're, you put them together, they're the four. They're also amplified ones, and
Yeah.
they have a whole myriad of things going on with them. So really they're just more amplified, they're more connected, even more so. So and that feeling of unity is going to want to come out even more. So they have their own special purpose here, and that is usually on like a bigger scale as well. So yeah, everything is basically an amplification of one thing or another, except the fives and the sevens. They don't really have one unless we're talking about the tens for the five. So the fives and the sevens are change makers, are pivots, are um those are big influences of okay, something needs to change in my experience. So yeah, they're here to press your buttons a little bit. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We need that sometimes. That's okay.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Angel numbers. Let's talk about angel numbers.
So every number does have a meaning. And what I do tell everybody
Sorry to interrupt you. If you don't know what an angel number is, if you're watching this channel, I'm sure you know what an angel number is. But if you don't, it's a repeating number, 777, 333, 222. Or some people pay attention to like the ascending or descending numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not 10, but you know what I'm saying. They pay attention to those things. So that's what we're talking about right now. Okay.
okay,
Sorry
so
to interrupt you.
you're fine. I would have wanted to say that too. So what I tell people when they see these angel numbers is it's really what it means to you. What are
Yeah.
you thinking about when these numbers show up, and what number is showing up repeatedly for you? And there's two different ways in numerology that you can use these. And say for instance, we have 222. This is about connection. You want to connect more with yourself, connect more with others. And depending on what you're thinking about, this is kind of like a guidance and a message for you. Some people add up the numbers. So 246, this is harmony. You need to bring harmony into whatever you're thinking about. Um, and it doesn't always have to be a repeating number in numerology. If you see 1212, or if you see 1234, it's all about what the numbers that you see repeatedly mean
My
for you.
friend Kathy sees her birthday everywhere, January 28th. She sees 128 everywhere. So, yeah.
Yeah, so she can add those up. It could be her life path number, something to do with, within that. Or sometimes it's just simply a message that, hey, we're here with you.
Yeah, see, I don't pay attention to the meaning of the numbers and the angel numbers personally, simply because when I started this path, Spirit told me when I asked about them, they're just a love note from us to you. We're just sending you a little, hey, we're here. Love
Right.
you. And
Yeah.
so to me, when I see them, I just think, oh, they're here with me. Love you too. And that's it. And so, but other people are like, oh no, 2 means this, 5 means this, 7 means this. And I'm like, well, if you want to do that, that's awesome for you. But like, I couldn't tell you what those numbers mean because I just take it as a love note, you
Right.
know? So yeah, it really is what it means to you.
Right. Yeah, it is. And when I first started, I would look up everything all the time, like, oh, I seen 222. I gotta look up and see what this means. And you can really get lost in that rabbit hole because
Really
there
can.
is on the internet, and oh my gosh, there's so many different meanings to it. So
As many people are as out there, you'll get as many opinions on what it means.
right. Yeah. So my biggest advice with that is pay attention to your thoughts right before you see
Trust
it.
your gut. How does it feel?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly.
You're saying trust your thoughts too, like what thought came to mind or what were you doing in that moment when you saw it? And like, is there anything that it could be
Right.
um,
So
connected with?
I'll use like a for instance, for me, if I'm thinking something like, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? Or is this right? When I see 111 after I'm thinking about those things, that is my thumbs up. Like, yes, you are on the right track, or things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all kind of ties together. And find your numbers. Find the ones that mean the most to you. Like what feels more validating to you.
Me with sevens, like it just always has been. Seven is my favorite number, like period. I don't have an explanation. It just is. And it's not just because it's my birthday, it's because it just
Right.
feels good.
Yeah.
Like
And
it
people
feels like
have.
a number. Taylor Swift, hers is 13. She's like, it was the number of this and the number of that, and it was on that date and this and that. And like 13 is her number. And yeah,
Right.
you have to find a number that resonates with you and find out what it is. But you know what I was thinking the other day? Well, not the other day, recently, I heard somebody talk about the number of your home, like adding up your address and like what kind of energy is your home holding in the numerology of your home. And I added mine up and it's 8. It's 8. And I was like, I think I remember reading that that's about like abundance or like career success. Am I right?
Yes. So let's get into this a little bit because
Yeah.
I all right. So for your home, each individual number means something. And then we add it up as a whole. So it's kind of like when people come to your house, this is the experience that they feel like they should be having. So if you don't mind me asking, what is your number? I don't need the rest of it, just the numbers.
Yeah, that's okay. It's 224.
Okay, so yeah, they want connection. They're gonna feel inclusive and they're going to feel good when they come to your home. It's a stable environment. Like this is where people are going to want to come to like chill and relax and be
Of
happy.
and that's the entire vibe that I create. Like I won't buy a piece of furniture that you can't put your feet on. I I want cozy blankets and comfy couches and put your feet on the coffee table and just make yourself at home and be cozy
Right.
yourself. That's the vibe I want in my home.
And so when you move into that eight, I mean, the eights, they're all about emotions and they do. They love deeply and they want everybody to feel good around them. That's really, a lot of what they're about. And yes, you're right. They are here for love and abundance and, all of the things. They learn to manifest this number eight. It is the manifestation of all of these things and it's available to you. That's what the eight wants.
I love
It
that.
that. Yeah. So really perfect. You have the perfect home. This suits you. I love it.
Love it. I love it. Woo!
Yeah.
As an aside, anybody watching this, I look like a strawberry right now. Like I'm so red and flushed. I don't know. I just ignore how red my face is. Whatever. I look like I don't know, like a pink starburst. I don't know.
I think you just look like you have blush on. I think it looks good and it matches your lipstick.
I do have a little bit of blush, but like my whole face, it's so warm. I don't know. Anyways, just as an aside, I keep looking at myself in the camera going, whoa, you're like red. You're like red. But yeah, I love that about this home because when I moved in, when I bought the house, girl, you should see the colors of these. They were all turquoise and like the colors. And I was like, I just need to like calm it down. I want bright, airy, open spaces. And I want some black in there to like ground the energy so people feel comfortable and cozy and at home. And so yeah, it looks like I picked the right home to vibe with that.
I believe you did.
Yeah,
100%.
good for me.
Your
But
phone something.
what's
Everything
that?
means your phone number means something.
Oh,
Every
well, I
something.
will give you my number and then I'll cut that part out of the video. You want to add it up and see what it is?
Adds up to an eight as well.
Stop. Really? That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
You have all of these things going around the eights, which is amazing. I love that. The manifestation of abundance, like all of that stuff, it's all available to you. That's really, eight is a great number. I love the eight. We have a lot of fives here. So this is a lot of people are wanting to hear new information from you or like a different perspective of things. People feel free when they talk to you, which is, yeah, it's 100% because you have this ability to step back and be free of judgment and, give this
Yeah.
information. And that's what these ones are about too. You can see that.
I love
So, um, the 3, you have creativity there. This is your abundance that ties in with that 8. And the 7, this is also a pivot. Yeah. And then your 2 4s, this is all about stability as well. So we really have, um, when people call you and they want to hear, I should say, how they feel like you should be expressing and what they should be getting out of the conversation is really, I'm going to learn new information, but I'm going to feel really great about telling her and really comfortable about this. And I'm going to leave this conversation with something new in a new direction. And I'm going to feel really great about that. That's really, yeah.
it's awesome. This is all so fascinating. Like I could go down this rabbit hole like forever. Now, so this, I mean, and it's old, like you were talking about. This is ancient wisdom. This isn't some newfangled woo-woo thing that people came up with. This is ancient wisdom. And I think that that's, a lot of people that don't know a lot about astrology, numerology, spirituality type things that are considered like new age. We all hate that term, but you know what I mean. They don't give it enough credit. Like so many of these things are based on ancient wisdom, ancient education, ancient tools. And they were around far longer than any of us or any of the churches around here. And they don't give us enough, they don't give it enough credit. So do you know anything about the history as far as like what they used to use it for? Did they use it just to be like, what's your life path number? They didn't. Do you know anything about it?
Used it for everything.
That
Every, um,
when to plant crops, what day would be best for this? Okay.
everything, their calendars. They have, it's a different calendar than what we're used to. So they
Yeah.
use it to predict events even way back then. That is how they knew. So if we talk about the Egyptians for a second, a lot of the numerology numbers that we have play into how they built their pyramids.
It's amazing. And it's funny you're bringing that up just as an aside before we keep going, because I'm so connected to the Egyptians. I've had multiple dreams of being an Egyptian, of seeing the pyramids as they were first built. They were so shiny and beautiful. They were like smooth granite countertops. Like they don't look like they do right now. And like I am so connected. And my one of my best friends, Kathy, she also has been feeling and experiencing the same things. And she's just like, what does like Egypt mean to you? Or like, what draw? And I'm like, girl, let me tell you. And I told her all the things. She's like, me too. Like, I think we lived these lives together. And we were at the bookstore the other day, and there was this one Egyptian statue, um, Anubis, I think it was. But anyway, she's right in front of it. And like, she just kind of went into this little trance. And like, she came out and she was looking at the statue and she's like, whoa, like something just happened. I'm supposed to buy that thing. Like, so it's not surprising to me that we're drawn to this and that your particular type of numerology you're using is like Egyptian
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
It all ties together, it's all synchronized.
Yeah.
No,
When you put it all together, you're like, yeah, all these dots are getting connected and your brain's kind of like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
very
It's,
cool.
the numbers 3, 6, and 9. Those, like I said, are the basis for so many things. It is the basis for a lot of things that the Egyptians used. And Tesla isn't a really great example because he went off the deep end, but
And
Tesla
I
used,
was just going to say that though. Tesla always said if you understood the true power of 3, 6, and 9, like, yeah,
they say that because we cannot function without the 3, 6s, and 9.
right. So, how can we use this in a practical way in our everyday current modern lives? Like, can you plan out like which day would be best to do something, which day would be best to travel, that kind of thing? What would you suggest?
So we all have our own biorhythm, and the collective has a biorhythm as well. So there is an ebb and flow of our days. In order to figure out what the collective's day is, because that's where I'm gonna kind of move things to, because it
Yeah.
gets complicated with yourself. What you do is you add like you did with your birthday.
Mhm.
You take, what is the date today?
Today is the 9th, 12/9/23, 12/9/2023.
1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. That gives you the number of the day. So we are actually in a one energy day. So this is the reset of the collective's biorhythm. This is our day of awareness. And then when we move into the 2, how are we going to put this together? We move into the 3. I'm going to get creative about this. This is I'm planting seeds for things, right? So this is like our play day kind of. 4, this is to really get out there in the physical. It's a physical number. So start putting things together out in the physical. We get to the 5. Am I enjoying my experience I'm having? I need to have my freedom. Today is a really great day to go play and enjoy and have fun. Our 6, I'm going to bring it all together. We're going to find our harmony. This is a day of family. So it's a really good day to spend time with your family and be in your home. Your 7, I am going to just have faith in what I am doing, and I'm going to take off running with it. And I may not know where I'm going, but I'm going to have faith. Our 8 is get the ball moving. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. The 7s and the 8s are 2 very outward focused numbers. So physical, get out there and do the things, right?
Yeah.
Um, the 8s are really great days for um, getting your tasks done. Like get in there and get your hands dirty. And then once we get to the 9, this is where we just kind of button things up. And this is our day to relax before we start the cycle all over again. So you can go through, you can figure out the days, and you really don't need to know specifically what all these numbers mean. I mean, you can have like a general idea,
Yeah.
but you can intuitively feel how they are because you're already doing it. So if you sit and you pay attention to what the number is and how you're feeling inside, you're going to start to know. You're also going to start to know how you're aligning with that day. So if you know that you don't really vibe with a 5, you can plan that day as, okay, I usually feel kind of crummy this day, so I'm just going to lay low. I'm
Got
going
it.
to do that. And the days that really fill you up and stuff, those are the days where you're going to be like, yes, I'm going to go do the things. I'm inspired. So,
I love that. Like I have surgery coming up on the 27th.
okay.
What does that look like, do you think? What kind of energy does that day have? It's 12/27/2023.
Oh, well,
Is
that's
that is
good.
that a 10?
1, 2, put me on the spot with the math.
No, that's okay. Let me get a calculator.
Let's see, 1 plus 2 plus
7 plus 2 plus 3. It's 19. So,
it would break down to a 1.
okay.
So that is new, fresh, and you're having, like, hey, I have a fresh start here. You know what I mean?
I'll take it. It's bad enough that it's going to be happening during Mercury in retrograde. So I'm like, probably wasn't the best idea, but can't be avoided. It is what it is. But at
Okay.
least it's a one day then.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7, 2, 2, 3. I'm figuring out a few things here. Extremely, this is a very, this day, there is lots and lots of connection here. And it's the day of planning. You may
Oh,
want to overplan. This is going to be like, I want everything just so, and I have all these things going on, and I have to make sure that they're all done.
yeah.
So you're going to feel this day and have to relax into it.
Yeah.
I can't control it. I have to let other people serve me today. I don't have to serve them.
That's so hard for me. And I know I've already been in it a little bit. I'm like trying to figure out like who's going to drive me, who's going to be there, who's going to come home and take care of me afterwards. And they're like, it'll work out, mama. It'll be okay. I'm like, I need a plan. Like,
Yes.
want it to be thrown to chance that day. That day, I'm going to be stressed enough. Like, I'm going to want to plan in the morning, book, chapter, verse,
Yep.
plan it.
So there's the arrow of frustration that day as well. So this is being frustrated. And having, because we have an isolated 7-2, having to trust that everybody's going to take care of everything for you.
That makes sense, you know, because they're right. It will all work out. It will be okay.
Mhm. Yes.
But my willingness to release and trust is the issue. Because I mean, not only is that innate to me to like want all my ducks in a row and to want to be the mastermind and like make sure that the plan is good. I think nurses have a problem with that too. Like on any of my annual reviews, one the constructive criticism was always like, you could do better at delegating. Like, you're probably right, but good luck with that. Ain't happening. You know, because you're supposed to delegate to this, you're supposed to delegate to the nurse's aide, you're supposed to, and I'm just like, I'll do it. I'll do it
Yeah.
because I want to make sure it's done right. And so, yeah, I have a lot of trouble giving up the control and trusting that it's all right. I'm going to go under anesthesia now. Like, you guys
Right.
got it handled right. Like, it's fine. Bitch, will you just go to sleep? No.
Thinking back to your chart, and I remember all 4 of your corners being isolated, and then we have the big cross in the middle. And yes, I see all this for you because you're like, are you going to do this? And are you going to do this? And, like I could see
Remember
you.
that, right? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Oh, how funny. Yeah, you got me nailed. You got me pegged for sure. So,
Yeah.
well, is there anything that you would like to add before we wrap this up? Is there anything that I forgot to ask about or that you would like to add in?
Well, why don't we talk about personal days real quick? Because we were
Yeah,
doing biorhythm.
absolutely.
To figure out your personal day, all you do is take the day that you were born. So if you are just a single digit number, 1 through 9, that is your personal day. If you are, say, you were born on the 12th, you are a 3. That is your personal day. And when we move through the collective, when I said how to figure this out, when you hit that 3 day, your energy is going to be amplified.
So I'm a 7 day then because
Yes.
I was born on the 7th. Okay.
And when we get more into it, theoretically, like for you, that is the start of your personal biorhythm. So everything that is with us, our life path number, all of our influences are how we are going to experience out in the collective too, because the collective is another layer. So everybody experiences this biorhythm different. Every single life path number does.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Now, does your birth time add into this at all or just the date?
Um, your birth time can add into it. Your name actually means things too. So
Right. We need to talk about all this, girl. We're never getting off here. So much to talk about. I love it. You're like, what did I get myself into?
so So your birth time, I don't really use birth time a whole lot because we have so much, as you know, information just off of your birth date. Like there is a crazy amount of information that you can get. But
Yeah.
your birth date or your birth time does mean something too, just like we added up for like the home number. Each number means something individually.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you add it up.
License plate number add up. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
the possibilities never end. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it's
And
fascinating.
with your day or with your name, each letter is associated with a certain vibration, a number vibration, which you can look this up. This is out there.
Right.
And this is why people that get really fanatical with numerology change their name because it attracts it.
That's kind of awesome. Yeah. You
So
know,
you can figure out what, if you look this up, you can figure out what numbers associate to which letter in your name.
does it go 1 through 9, 1 through 10? Like it goes 1 through 9?
Everything is a cycle of 1 through 9, except our life path numbers if we choose to go into it, which I haven't really sat and Googled, honestly, because I took this course. Um, how many other different variations of numerology they go into the spiritual numbers. Some do, some don't. Some people will go on forever, but everything is a 1 through 9.
You guys, she is going to create a little cheat sheet for me. She's going to send me the information for all of this stuff, and I'm going to make like a printable or something that you can either save to your phone or you can print out. So that can help you a lot with that. So I'll get that made and I will put the link to it down in the description for you guys. And I'll also put the her contact information, her website, all the good stuff so that you can get a hold of her and you can schedule a reading of your own. Because I tell you, mine, I got it, it's like 26 pages long, and like every page was like chock full of valuable, accurate information. I remember even like you were talking about the personal seasons, or the different chapters of our life basically, and you're like, what happened during this time? And I told you, and you're like, well, it's funny you should say that, because this is adds up exactly where you were supposed to be and what happened during this season. And I would tell you, and you're like, funny you should say that, because this is what you were supposed to be doing. Like, it was so spot on. So what that makes me excited for what's to come, because I'm getting ready to like change into the next one in a year or so. And the next one, the description of it looked pretty good. If I remember right, it looked pretty good. So I'm like, all right, good stuff coming. I like it.
Right. So great. And I call these your soul purpose blueprints. This is what I do. This is like your validation of who you are and what you came here to experience, and your past and your future, and like all these different things all tied up into one. And it's amazing, amazing.
All right. Well, I think we've covered so much in this first like little numerology for beginners, numerology 101 type of thing. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. What are your thoughts? And if you haven't yet, hit the like and subscribe button, and definitely go check her out. If you're able to do it, go check her out, get a reading. You won't regret it. Go down that rabbit hole. It'll be worth it. All right, you guys, I love you all. Until next time.